We got the thumbs up?
Yeah, got thumbs up, that big button there.
Don't press anything.
No, just turn. That's it. That's it, there you go.
There we go, boom. We are back on site today. We're doing some mains work at a distribution centre that's just about to be handed over. Yeah, let's get to it. What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm on site with John Bagley. I'll go have a chat with him in a bit, but I just wanted to show you what we're doing today. We're doing mains work, my favourite type of work. I've got a Acti 9 isobar P board to fit, 2 MCCBs, a load of other kit, metering and stuff like that in this mains setup behind me. So yeah, plenty of graph to get into, plenty to show you guys, probably split across a couple of videos. And yeah, I'll walk you through the plan now. So I'm going to be fitting a board here. What John's hoping is we can get 2 bits of uni spanning like that there to allow the board to sit on, and then we got this nice bit of steel work which will act as a bit of a barrier, so it's still accessible but tucked away. And I'm going to gland out of that and a bit of 25mm 4 or 5 core, not sure what he's got, into this end cap, come up into this MCCB panel, and we've got 2 spare ways here. One of them's for me, another one is for something else he's got going on, and then we've got to fit 2 meters in here as well, so we've got a load of spare ways there to fit them. So plenty to get into. I'm going to start by getting this board mounted, I think, get all that done. Then I've got to go get the cable because I think the bit he's got might not be long enough wherever it is, but I'll measure that out. Yeah, once that's glanded in there, we'll get it boshed in there, isolate this, get the switches fitted, meters fitted, and then yeah, we'll look at potentially getting some of these EV cables glanded into the board for him, so it should be a good day. I've got all my kit set up here. This is going to be my my little area for the day. I've already marked my uni just while waiting around, so I'm going to get them cut with the bandsaw. And then, yeah, that's going to be the hardest bit, I think. Everything else I'm pretty happy with, but the hardest bit is going to be trying to get these 2 bits of uni to sit nicely and be the right distance apart for the fixing holes on the board. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. That blade on that bandsaw has completely had it. Last time I used it was about 6 months ago, cutting stainless steel conduit for an industrial kitchen, and stainless just eats any type of blade, especially those blades. So that was a real struggle. Normally though, it's like a hot knife through butter. Yeah, if you're wondering why it's struggling, that was why. I'm just going to get these ends filed down now. He's got end caps, so I'm going to get these ends filed down, and then we'll start mounting this uni. The distance between these fixings is, I'll call it about 38 between friends, because edge to edge by the time you centre them. My 2 bits of uni need to be 38 apart. I've got this one slotted in there. 38 apart, while also missing everything that's going on in here. So that's going to be interesting. How many times am I going to walk into this Armco shoulder today? Look at that. Looking at it, it's really tricky basically, especially with this in here. That's like my only space for the other bit of uni. If I go that side, I'm going to be conflicting with this waste pipe. So I'm going to shuffle this along, because it's only 2 cables and you've got all 12 inches of tray there. You've got obviously John's EV cables, but they're pretty flexible. So I'm just going to shuffle that along. That will gain me what I need, and then yeah, the board can sit nicely there. But for now, I'll get the bit of uni up on the left-hand side, because that can go, well, it has to go where it has to go now, and then that will dictate where the tray goes. So I've just had to flatten this lip. I'm going to try and remove it, and then once that's fitted, I can measure 38 or 380 off of that to where this uni needs to be, and then shuffle this tray along accordingly. The board will be sitting quite nicely in there. I would probably just opt at maybe moving the board, but I quite like where it's going to sit in there. It makes sense. You've got access to this trunk and above it, you've got a tray next to it, and it's going to be easy to get the 25mm into there, so I don't want to change it if I don't have to. It's just not ideal having to bend that flange off, but it is what it is. So I started bending it off, but it started tearing past where I needed it to finish anyway, so there's still going to be a lip there. So I'm just going to leave it, to be honest, so I don't disturb it too much. Yeah, going to get this lined up here, get a fixing in it. Yeah, we'll level it out at the bottom, and that is that piece done. So now I've got that bit of uni mounted, I can now measure off, mark where the other one needs to be, and then shuffle this tray along to suit it. So here he is, the man. John, hello mate, you right?
Hi guys.
So John is rigging up an EV charger, because you just got an EV, ain't you?
Yeah.
And then he needs to get home.
Yeah, so I'm setting this up, yeah. It's on 3-phase, going into a socket. Going to be putting the car there shortly.
Yeah.
Type 2 from there.
Utilising the site temps a bit unorthodoxly, but it will work, won't it?
It works. Charging there and we're getting this home, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's it. And then hopefully when you come back, mate, your EV chargers will be on.
Yes. Today Mike is putting in the board, the supply, what he's doing over here.
Yeah.
So ready for that's the EV head. So we've got a couple of MCTVs going in there. We've got a couple of the chaps in there working for me, pulling through an SWA.
There she is.
That's for the power upstairs, for all the comms and the kitchens and stuff. So yeah, busy all the time.
Yeah, should be good, mate. Thanks for having me. Thanks for letting me take the cream as well. Let me take all the glory on this one. So I've got my 2 bits of uni set up there. They are bang on 380 apart, edge to edge, which means centre to centre they'll be the same. And that is the distance between the fixings on the board. So I'm going to get some zebs in. Well, I'll probably put the zebs on the board first, and then we'll see how it lines up. So this is the board. It's a Schneider Isobar P. So it's got the plug on neutrals. I'm sure loads of people have seen these boards, but I love them. I'm a sucker for spending way too much time dressing boards in and stuff like that. So the fact that these have got the wireless RCBOs, and then obviously you've got the isolatable sort of bus bar on there, and yeah, just a nice quality product. I always fit Schneider if I can, because yeah, they're just great boards. I'm going to get the main switch in. I'm going to maybe get this knockout done as well, just because that sort of stuff's easier to do with the board off the wall. And then I'll torque it all up and do all the finishing touches, obviously when it's on the wall, but while you can get hold of it on the floor and stuff, yeah, I find it a lot easier to do bits like that. So I'm going to get the zebs in, main switch fitted, and get my knockout done. I might get some holes done as well for the SWAs, I'm not sure yet. And then yeah, it should be ready to go on the wall. That's a 40mm knockout. I was trying to drill it out with a 32 because we've got a 32 gland. Now it's not the end of the world, because the shoulders of this gland are so big that they more than cover the hole. Just ideally you would have, you know, the whole size to the gland. Now John is going to the wholesalers, so if he's got time and I don't need to get ahead, I'll just get him to get a reducer. We'll do it that way. But worst case, covers the hole, so you know, it makes no odds, it makes no difference. But yeah, I just try to, when you can, drill out the right size hole, or you could use a bigger gland, but I don't really like doing that either. Just a little tip there, those little knockouts, they're welded in 2 sort of points. If you hit right on them, they knock out first time. I've seen people like smashing the hell out of consumer units, damaging them, warping them. You just tap right on them joints, you'll split them straight away, and it's as easy as that. Let's get this boshed in. Just get it loosely on, not loosely, I'll tighten it up, but it won't be torqued. What is it, 3.5? Yeah, 3.5, so I'm just gonna give them a little squeeze, little bite onto the pins. I've got to put the earth bolt in here as well, so that I can lug onto that. Yeah, Zeb's on and we're ready to go. So just quickly, what I'm doing here is I got 8mm bolts, 8mm washers, which I just nicked off the mechanical guy, nice one. And then the Zebs are 8s as well. Yeah, they're no good, but luckily I had some 8mm bolts. John had the Zebs, and yeah, our mate had these. So I'm going to get these just pushed through, basically. Just pop that through the hole like that. Get the Zeb on. If I get them lined up right, I should be able to sort of like push it onto the uni. But I'll show you guys in a sec, actually. Probably be about there. So I forgot to mention with the Zebs, when you do them, like when you already have them bolted onto the board and then you push your board onto the uni or the trunking or whatever you're doing, it's actually a lot easier if you remove these. If you remove them completely, then you can just rely on the Zeb, the lock-in sort of nut, the uni nut, to yeah, just fall into place. You can get your finger behind it, mess around with it, and just get it fixed back a lot easier. You can see I've got this mounted now, so I mean the uni can be a bit flimsy. I mean it ain't going anywhere. When you mount the board to it, it just helps a lot as well, I find. So yeah, I've got my main hole there, the 4 for these EV cables. So I'm waiting on the cable to get the feed in. So what I'm probably going to do is get these 4 glanded in. I can't put them away because he's got an expansion chamber to go on and all sorts, but I can get them glanded in for him, and it just does a bit of the work. And then hopefully he would have gone and got the cable by then. We'll be coming out of there, boshing into that, getting these MCCBs fitted, and yeah, getting through these meters and stuff like that. So that should be pretty cool. So I was just chatting to John. I'm actually going to leave those for later, just because they're not a priority. I'm going to get this glanded in, so I've got to fit this MCB in one of these boards. I'll make sure I ask him what one, and then I've got to gland this in this trunking up there. So I'm going to have to gland it really long, thread it through, and then John's going to give me a hand to get it down this trunking and put away. What board's it going into, mate?
I think it's going to that.
This one?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, get it in that board. So I'm going to crack on glanding that now. Right, so I'm up here, about to gland in about here. I've just done, little tip if you can't see into places, film a little video. As you can see, I have a good old look in the trunking and see that I'm not going to drill into anything, so that's dead handy. But look at that banjo. No bolt. And then you've got all these just lashed. And but nothing to do with me. I'm going to gland about here. So I'm going to drill a hole. I know it's safe, like I say, because I've just filmed a little video with that thing. So I'm going to drill my hole, mark this armoured up, get it glanded, and then it's just going to be a bit tricky to get it in. But yeah, should be all right. So I've worked out where I want to strip it. I've just eyed it up because I've got a load of play on the tray work with the cable. and then I'm going to be using the CK armor slice. Now I tend to not use it. I do love this tool, a lot of people hate it, but I tend not to use it just because I find it easier and better to use a hacksaw or Tony's exhaust cutter. But in a confined space like this is where this really shines. I'm at the top of like a set of steps 3 meters up. I've got this heavy, well not heavy, but it's not a light cable, 25mm 5 core. So yeah, this is just going to make it a lot easier than waving a big hacksaw about in this ceiling void. So yeah, I'm going to get this cut, and then we'll strip it and grind it together. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to see if I can get all them armourings pinged off in one, but food's just turned up, so I'm going to have some lunch first. Shout out to Millie's. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Got a lot of time for that. How embarrassing. Yeah, barely any. Yeah?
And then that should then...
Sharp, mate. It's almost like we measured it.
Yeah.
It's almost like we measured it. I've isolated what I think is that board there. The circuit chart in the board correlates with the lights and stuff like that, and the lights went off. I've got all but one of the screws out, so I'll get the tripod set up, get the cover off, and we'll prove it dead together. So, I've got the cover off. Like I said, if I didn't have that visual sort of thing of the lights going off and all of the associated circuits with this board, you know, showing that loss of power, then you might, you know, depending on your RAMs and the site and your control measures, you might have some arc flash PP or something if you weren't sure if this was 100% dead. I'm fairly confident. I've been walked through the installation and yeah, I didn't deem it necessary, nor did the RAM. So we're still going to test for dead though, of course. We're working in a localized area. I can see it, so I haven't done it yet, but once I prove it dead and I know it's that one, I'll lock it off because it's literally an arm's reach away, and then we can work in this safely. Now these boards arguably are the safest boards anyway from Schneider. They've got a covered neutral bar, they've got the, you know, the isolator sort of on the bus bar and stuff like that, so they're super safe anyway as well. If it was like you know, a lesser brand or a brand that I know is a bit more exposed on the inside or something like that, I'd take more, you know, precaution there. But you've just got to use a bit of engineering judgment really, and just not be silly. So I'm going to get my testers out, I'm going to prove them on the proving unit, and then I'm going to jump onto first L1, L2, L3, neutral, neutral, L1, neutral, L2, neutral, L3, L1 to L2, L1 to L3, L2 to L3. So there you go. I'm pretty happy that's dead. I'm now literally going to walk over there, lock off the MCCB, sorry, and then I can confidently work in this board, fit this breaker, and get this put away. You okay with me going in the left-hand side, John? It's a little bit less busy, and yeah, it's. Yeah. That's it, and it's closer to the main switch, which I do prefer. I do prefer sometimes, well, when you can. It's not a big deal, but little things like that. I'm gonna get that locked off, and then I'll be back. Right, so we're locked off. I'm gonna get this MCB fitted. So we've got a C63. Get that popped on, and if I move this out of the way, MCB 32 to 63 amps, 3.5 Newton meters. Where are we at? 3.8, 3.6, in between 3.6 and 3.4. The wee one misses some numbers out, or likes to. I'll get this torqued up. There we go. That is that on. I'm now going to get this cable in. What's that, mate? Oh, yeah. Yes, John, I will.
That is for the power supply for the office.
Cool. Where's this going? Any preference? Any phase preference? Do both the circuits serve the same area? I'll just bang it on L3. So these are the Isobar P breakers. So this is an RCBO, very snazzy. And this mechanism here and these pins are because it picks up a neutral and a functional earth off of the backing plate. So I'll bring you in a minute and show you. But yeah, it's just super smart. You can fit normal MCBs in there, but you can also fit these RCBOs. And what that means is you haven't got all them trailing leads everywhere, which obviously people either leave or spend way too much time dressing in and stuff like that. But I find, you know, Schneider boards, in my opinion, are the best boards, but they're also the hardest boards to dress the RCBO leads because the earth bar's at the top. So this is just like, yeah, one, so much easier, and two, yeah, so much neater. So I really love these boards. I'm actually going to be fitting one at the loadout warehouse soon, so that'll be some content there that you guys can look forward to. I'll just clip this in while I'm here, and basically you want to pull that back and then it sort of pushes in, that clips on, and you're locked in. So I thought I'd just bring you up so you can see. So yeah, that's where it picks up the functional earth and neutral from, and then yeah, that's obviously the RCBO. I'll show you this one because John's just getting the last two in on this one. There's a lot more, so you can get a better idea.
As says, for these boards, you have to push them right in. Can you see that? It just clicks in like that. So if you just drop them down like that, it's not in. So you've got to push it right in and then push it down. And when that locks,
under these.
Yeah, and when you push that in, then it locks underneath, so that's sturdy now.
Yeah.
I'll do that again. So push it in at a slight 15-degree angle, push it in, and then push it down.
Gosh.
Lock it. Done. But always make sure the board is isolated before you put anything in.
Yeah.
You can see it's disconnected on the main switch. We were always going to lock this off, but...
Nice boards though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Nice boards. And
not the cheapest.
you can imagine you haven't got no leads there. So normally you'd have a neutral and an earth lead. All the earth leads would be going up to that earth bar. All the neutrals would be going in here, and it would just be a spaghetti junction before you even made it off.
This is the form now. I see a modular boarding.
Yeah.
This is how it should be, and I've got, you know, how Schneider should be going now. I mean, it wouldn't be too far in the future now that you could put smart monitoring in this now with a bit of data.
Oh no, mate, they do power tags that clip on the bottom.
Do they?
Yeah,
and
so they're like individual CTs, and then you'll have like an app and interface,
that, yes, and you can see and
you can monitor individual breakers, and even so if it trips in a place like this with all these boards, you could have a breaker trip and it could text you, and then you could be on the road to here, they ring you and go, oh, breaker's tripped, you go, I know, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's insane. I think power tag it's called, I'm pretty sure. Power tag.
Just got to tighten all these up hand tight, and then I'm going to run the So I'm just taking up all the slack in the screws, make sure we're all okay. Just only finger tight.
And then we'll get them all cranked up.
Yeah.
I reckon this will be my thumbnail as well. You can be in it if you want, mate.
Oh, thank you, mate.
just the hands, just the hands.
Just the hands, yeah. Who's those good, nice looking hairy hands?
Yeah, we've got it set to 3.5. Well, I've just done now up, so it's already set. And then, yeah, you get all them cranked up, mate. And then I think the outgoings are 2.
Yeah. They're smaller, aren't they? So
yeah.
if you create them more than 3, they're going to snap.
Yeah.
Right, so all them there. Just a clicker.
Yeah.
There we go. And keep my hand on top to keep it down, although we've got the proper for it. Just keep a little weight.
It works a lot better that way, doesn't it? I find, especially if you're doing like 4 as well, 4 newton meters on your wrists is it's hard work, man.
I'm an old get. I've literally just got my hand in, so twisted. So I've been, 6 years, 40 ounces using that. So
yeah,
I find now when.
And even though it's the modular tip, so it's the slotted and the posi tip, it still does slip sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I'll leave you with that, John, and then I better get better get that put away so I can get your other board on.
Okay, mate. Crack on.
So another thing you might have noticed is, well, one, they've used tech screws for the board cover. Again, there's a lot of things I would bring up and want to change, but I'm just a hired gun today, and sometimes that's the way it is. But you might have also noticed I left the main switch on when I done the safe isolation procedure. That was mainly because I'd isolated elsewhere, but also because nowadays there's so much stuff that can feed back in and cause situations like that, I actually prefer to keep the main switch open so that, if there's anything back feeding, anything like that, any alternative sources that haven't been labelled, any batteries, warehouses like this, I've seen little like micro UPS systems put in, like localised ones. Again, like not labelled up, like just plugged into a socket, reverse, like just bodged in. So yeah, I tend to just leave it on, and then of course if it's your point of isolation you've got to turn it off. If it isn't, leave it open, man, leave all the breakers on. There might be a little hidden danger there. Just a little tip that I find helps. I've never had to rely on it, but it would help, Remove my lock off, that can go back on now. Lights are back on. That is good to go. Like I said, I've got the sliders off. John will probably lock the MCB off as well. And then I'm not turning that mystery breaker back on just because I don't really know what the crack is. Now, I need to get my feed into here, boshed into there, fit the 2 meters, fit these 2 MCCBs. So yeah, I'm probably going to get the cover off of this, see what the crack is. So I'm going to need to isolate it. There. We got the thumbs up?
Yeah, got thumbs up. That big button there.
Don't press anything.
No, just turn. That's it. There you go.
There we go, boom.